Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sephora Moses and I welcome you to Real Talk with Sephora. So today we're having a quick one. Today we are discussing telling signs that you talk too much. Yes, there are people who talks like there is no tomorrow. So we are going to discuss the signs, telling signs that shows and tells that you talk too much. So while we just pluck these flowers from my garden, it rained yesterday, so they are really blooming beautifully. So telling signs that you talk too much. How do you know that you talk too much? We all talk, but how do you know if you talk too much or you talk in a normal pace? So let's just run through the signs that tells that you talk too much. The number one is that you are in a room and you are talking and you are talking and you keep talking and nobody is answering. Nobody is contributing to what you're saying. There is a dead silence in the room. It's a sure sign that you talk too much. Maybe in a gathering, maybe in any occasion at all, you find yourself talking and talking and talking. No one is adding anything to it. No one is adding questions. No one is asking you questions. No one wants to contribute to anything that you're saying. You are just talking and talking. You alone are talking. You are asking questions. You are answering the questions. It's a good sign that you talk too much. And it's a fine sign that everybody else, they are just ignoring you because they all know and they are aware that you talk too much. That is number one. The second sign that you talk too much is when you tell a long story. We are not talking about storytellers here. It's not as if you are a storyteller or you decide to tell a story and everybody else decide that they want to listen to you. As long as it's not a story, you are just talking and talking. Your talks are very, very lengthy and long. Your talks are most of the times very lengthy. You talk and you talk and you talk and you go on and you go on and you go on. There is a fine chance that when you talk for a long period of time like that, people get fed up, they get irritated, they feel so awkward around you. Nobody really wants to be around someone who talks a river like that. So when your stories, your talks are too long and too lengthy, you will realize that soon enough everyone will start ignoring you because they get tired of hearing the story. That is another sign that you talk too much. Another telling sign that you talk too much is when you are talking and all of a sudden everybody else begins to get busy around you. That is another telling sign that you talk too much. It's not getting busy with good reason. For instance, maybe you are in the kitchen with your mom or with your sister and they are cutting tomatoes and you're talking, you're chit-chatting and the conversation is going on smoothly and you are both involved in the conversation. That is not what we are talking about here. We are talking about all of a sudden busyness. All of a sudden you start talking, you open your mouth to talk, and all of a sudden everyone around you, they begin to get busy around you. That is a sure sign that you talk too much. They are just getting busy because they don't want to give you their faces. They're getting busy because they don't feel to listen to you. They don't want to listen. They don't want to hear anything that you have to talk because you talk too much. And they know that when you open your mouth, there is no stopping you. So when people around you all of a sudden begin to get themselves busy, looking for things to do just to get their hands their heart and their eyes and their attention occupied with every other things shying away from you, it's a sure sign that you talk too much. That one is true. Because when you're talking to somebody, if they are not giving you the full attention, they are not talking back, they are not replying, they are not contributing to the relationship, and they are busy with their hands. For instance, the way I'm decorating with these flowers, they just decide to ignore you and focus on other stuff. It's a very good sign that you talk too much. Like I said, I want this video to be very, very short, so we are not going to prolong it, just the basic ones, because if we have to, we might have to go on a long list. But these are just basic signs that you talk too much. Another sign to look at for is when you are talking and the people or the person in your company, they are just nodding, but they are not saying anything. It's a sure sign that you talk too much. Yes, somebody might just pretend they are giving you their full attention, but in reality, they are just fed up with what you're saying. So you find them nodding at you, you're saying things, and they are just nodding to the conversation, but they don't have any need to contribute. They don't have any desire to engage in that conversation. It's a sure sign that you talk too much. So what are some of the things that you can do to minimize your talk when you are in a gathering, when you are having conversation with people, when a need be? What can you do if you happen to be someone who talks too much? What can you do? Let's just share a basic one. The first thing that you have to do, you look at when you're talking to somebody, look at what are they doing when you're talking to the person. Are they contributing? The first sign that somebody is engaging with you, eye contact. Are they listening to you? Are they giving you their full attention? Are they listening to what you're saying? Are they contributing? Or they are just nodding to what you're saying? That is the first thing. So pay attention, pay mind to the person's body language, if they are paying attention to you, if they are contributing. Because if somebody is interested in what you're saying, definitely you're telling a story. They might be curious to ask one or two things. For instance, you're saying something and I find it to be interesting. Definitely, I might be curious enough to ask you one or two questions. How did that happen? How do you feel? Oh, how did you feel when it was happening? Oh, how did you react when it was happening? Oh, how did you find yourself there? Oh, how did you get yourself out of that situation? We humans, we are curious beings. We are very curious. So when you're telling a story, you're saying something, definitely if someone is interested, they will ask questions. Or most of the time, they might give you time to narrate your story. Maybe you're telling a very interesting story and they just want you to land very well before they contribute. That one is also different. You're saying something and they are just respecting everything you're saying. They want to make sure that you tell the story, you finish up before they crash the dialogue, because in acting they call that crash of dialogues when you're talking and I'm talking. So in real life conversation, it's normal for you to be telling a story and somebody is really, really into the story. They are interested, they are involved. Their body language and their curious mind and eyes will tell you that they are really interested in what you're saying. So look out for that. Are they exchanging words with you? Are they contributing maybe here and there? Are they asking curious questions? So if they are not asking, maybe it's a fine cue for you to, seize your tongue a little bit. Control your tongue. When you're talking and somebody is not talking in the same pace as you, it's a sure sign that you're talking too much. Just slow it down a little bit and you'll make the conversation much more interesting. So also when you're talking to somebody, try not to be telling your to be making your stories to be too long. If you have a story to tell, maybe something happened and a friend asks you, what happened? I was just so worried, what happened? And you want to tell a story, break these stories down, and definitely they will interrupt you to ask questions. Don't make your stories too long. Don't tell too long story that people become so bored that they are so irritated by it. Okay, that is still a fine way you can control the narrative. Don't talk too much. Do not tell long stories that are too long. Okay, so we have come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I really wanted it to be brief because I wanted to go and just decorate my flowers. I said let's talk about this before I remove my makeup. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Do not forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you. I like it. That's good.